Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I've got a independent video slash lesson today, and this is about how to create a cut in a Toposolid. Now for seasoned Revit users, they'll know that, or you'll know that, Autodesk changed the Toposurface tool to a Toposolid tool. And I think most seasoned people are going, yep, this is okay. But where the issue was is that the building pad tool was removed, and that meant a site cut fill tool was deleted, okay, taken away from us. It's not the end of the world, but it does mean just a little bit of a change in the way we do things. Okay, so just as usual, please don't forget to like, subscribe, share this channel, so I can keep helping others. And we'll go from there. So what we have here is in the lesson. So I have created a Toposolid with a decent sort of gradient slope on it. Okay. And what I've done here is in the architecture tab in the work plane, okay, I made sure when I set the work plane, so go set work plane, that I had clicked on this basement level that I had created. Okay, so we know that. And the other thing I'm doing is I have the show button, which just shows the um, work plane for us, so we know where it is in relationship to everything else. Okay, and if I, go to an elevational view, okay, we can see this basement. Okay, what I want to do is make sure that this basement here, that is where I want to cut to. Okay, and my objective is to cut a hole out of this Toposolid. Okay, and I need this reference plane to do it. So um, I'm going to go to my basement. Actually, I can do this from 3D. Okay, so I'm going to go to my top view. Okay, I want to be in plan view for this. Okay, I am going to go to massing and site, and I am going to do, in my conceptual mass here, I'm going to do an in-place mass. Okay, so click on that. Ask me to name the mass. I'm just going to call it mass 1 for now and go OK. Right, so when you draw masses, the first thing you need to do is tell Revit what the shape of the mass is. Okay, this will be effectively an extrusion. Okay, so that is what the two-dimensional shape of the mass looks like. Okay, now that's not a mass, that is literally two dimensions, x and y. Okay, so it's not going to create anything solid yet. Okay, so what I need to do is, again, I'm just going to select my mass, and I've got to go into here, into my form, and I need to create a form. Okay, I need to add a third dimension. Okay, so I'm going to create a solid form. Okay, so click on that, and what Revit's going to do is instantly add a third dimension. It's going to add the Z elevation for us. Fairly arbitrary, but it gives us, instead of having a 2D plane before, we now have a 3D mass. Okay. Now, we have push and pull arrows and all of that sort of stuff. I'm just going to leave those as they are for now. That's a different lesson. Yeah. And now that the mass is created, I can finish the command. So I'm going to do that. So I just say finish mass. Okay. So back to our regular viewport. we have our Toposolid, okay, which is a solid mass effectively, and we have an in-place mass as well. Okay, so we've got two solid forms in our port, in a viewport. Now the key thing here is that you'll see that this mass, okay, mass number one, is not doing anything. It's just overlaying itself over the Toposolid. We need this to cut that. Right, so we go modify. Okay, so we're going to modify something within the environment. So we're going to go modify. We're going to go geometry. And we're going to go cut. Okay, so cutting is where we cut one element out of another in Revit. So I'm going to go cut. I'm going to go down to the bottom left hand corner and look for my prompt. First pick, select the element to be cut or a host wall. So I'm looking for an element to be cut. The Toposolid is the element that I want to cut. So I'm going to select that. There we go. The second instruction is select the family instance to cut with. Okay, so the family instance in this exercise is the mass. Okay, mass number one that we created. So I need to select that. And when this happens, you'll see the cut occur. Okay, it's happened. Okay. Now, as I spin around, okay, we can now see the Toposolid. We can see the mass, and we can see in here where the mass is cutting the Toposolid. Okay. Now, the beauty of all of this is that I can go into a top view. I can select my mass. I still have my push and pull arrows. So what I can do is I can bring this mass into this environment here, and I can manipulate it, okay, to however I want to do, whatever I want to do. Okay, so again, back into spinning. Now we have the mass cutting the Toposolid, no intersections either way. From this point on, I can do things. I can hide my mass, so I can go hide element, and if I turn off the work plane, so I'm no longer showing it, there we go. We have a Toposolid with a nice big hole in it that I can then start adding and building other elements into it. Okay, floors, walls, any other structure, they will now behave themselves. Okay. If I very quickly, again, just to validate that again with a sectional view. Okay, so I'm just going to do a section cut here. Okay, and again, there is my Toposolid. There's the cut. There's the section in the background, and there is my mass that I can manipulate as I see fit. And you'll see there, as the mass goes under the Toposolid, I can start doing really cool things like it instantly fills there. Okay, so there's plenty of options. Okay, it's practically an unlimited way of working. Okay, once you get your head around the massing tools, they can be very, very flexible for us. Okay, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this lesson. If you have any questions, queries about it, send us an email or write a comment in the channel. I will endeavour to answer as best as I can. And the good thing is, I got this video under 10 minutes again. Okay, we will see you later.